How's it going, YouTube? Collection today with another video, and today, guys, the brand new is going to be live gameplay. I've been asked for this a ton, so I want to do something a bit unedited, just kind of showing you my raw thoughts when I'm going through some gameplay and like what I'm really trying to do moving forward. So here we open up a pretty standard Maliss hand. Allure is definitely optional. So here, right off rip, I do have Dormouse and Allure, which is really nice because you can go ahead and just banish it right away and then get advantage. It is a little awkward, though, because you can have situations where, like, you need to banish Dormouse later and you can't because you already banished it. But here, I'm just going to go ahead. It's game one. I'll go and use the Allure. I do have Call By and Impulse, so I'm sitting pretty good right now. And we also just drew Insane. Also, please just shuffle your hand whenever you draw cards because, like, you don't need to tell your opponent, like, what you drew, right? So here I'm going to try to use the effect of Chessie to bring it back. Now I'm going to go ahead and use Chessie effect here to go ahead and draw. Get rid of the Dormouse here. Go and use Dormouse effect. Pay 300. I'll bring that back here as well. Using Dormouse effect right off rip, go ahead and banish the White Rabbit. For now, we can go ahead and bring this back, set a trap card. Alright, so now we have the option between MTP and TB11. Just go ahead and set this one. We are on summon number 3 at the moment, so we got to be pretty conscious about that. At the moment, we have banished all 3 because we're at 71, so you want to keep track of that as well. I'm just going to go ahead here now and use the decoder. Go into our summon number 5 here, just to kind of check for a couple things like Nibiru, just to see what our opponent wants to do here. Looks like they're thinking they could have Rock. They also could just have a Bestial, but I'm assuming that they probably have Rock here. They might do it on Res. A lot of people aren't playing Dotscaper. I am, so a lot of people are like, oh, I can just drop it here and it's fine. But not always the best decision. They're still thinking here, so it tells me that there is definitely a Rock in their hand. Now they're like, that's fine, because in my opinion, that's just like, oh yeah, they have a Rock. So the way that we can play around that too, which is really nice, go ahead and get rid of this and this. Summon out SP, and then SP here can just go ahead and target the Ransom. So if they have to Rock here, they have to Rock here, right? I'll go ahead here and banish out the Ransom. Go pay 900 now and try to bring this back. See what they're trying to do. This will go ahead and summon back. A lot of times they'll do it like premature before you even banish anything else. They'll just like try to activate Rock, which is really funny. Always wait for your opponent to finish resolving their cards, right? This could be where Rock comes out. They're thinking again here, but this is why we went with SP. Again, just very safe here, good option. They just said that's fine because they realize in this position, Rock's not really going to do them a whole lot, which is pretty interesting. They don't have a card on board either, so we kind of have to play further into Rock here if we want to. Again, it's a little unfortunate with the arrows here too, and we also already used all of the banishes too, so it's a little awkward. We're going to tell our opponent that we're thinking here because we already know that we're probably getting rocked. So what's the next best thing to do if you know that you're probably getting rocked, right? So that's something you really want to think about. Here, we have a couple options. Of course, SP's arrows are very awkward, which is always the worst part. But honestly, even from this position, I think I'm just going to go directly into a White Binder. I didn't really even need to use the Dotscaper there, which is fine. But I'm going to go ahead here and just use the effect. And I'm just going to target the Dormouse here by itself. I want something banished in case I want to go for like a Cryptor later, which is fine. Go ahead and banish this out here. It looks like they might be thinking as well as a Chain Link too. They said that's fine. I'll go ahead and declare this now to set. I'm just kind of waiting to see like what their next idea is here. They don't know what we have. I really hate setting MTP when I don't have to, because you can always get to it like next turn. I will go ahead here and activate this though, because we already have GWC, so there's not really a reason. I just want to make sure that I get this extra draw in. We should just go for the draw if you can, honestly. We're going to end on a very minimal board because our opponent's already telegraphing to us that they have the Nibiru here. We also haven't Splash Maged yet. We could go like Splash Mage into Heat Soul, but it's better to keep that for follow-up. So here we're just going to go into our Firewall, which is just like Are you going to Nibiru that? And a lot of times they just will. Why not go for some more draws to try to get in more hand traps here, get rid of the Dormouse? Obviously, it's another starter you want in your hand for follow-up, but at this point, there's not really a reason to. Like, look at that. Look at how crazy that is. So, go ahead. I didn't shuffle my hand there. That's fine. Banish the Dormouse. And then he's going to say, think on res. So, we'll see what they have here. The set is MTP. Yes, you do know that. All right. So now our hand is actually broken. They don't have a card on board, so this Impulse is pretty lackluster. It's not doing anything. So I'm just going to go ahead here and just set a bunch of cards. You could activate like Underground just in case you get one of these back up, and so then you already have the protection where they like have to attack the Link. But I'd rather have one to banish off Chessie later and then like have one to activate, right? So I'm going to attempt the end phase, and then they're going to drop Rock. Oh, no, they were just bluffing the whole time. That's fine. We still end on a really good board and a lot of advantage. So there's really nothing to it at that point. Like, even if they did rock at any point there, it really didn't matter because we still have so much, right? Like, we're not worried about anything. We have so much. And then we also have the Bestial. We have Nibiru and Ash, which is already going to be another way to get back to, like, Whitebinder here. So not a whole lot of ways that you can lose this now, which is really nice. They are going to start Lacrima. That's fine. This is like a 50 card pile too, so like, I don't know, you know, it could be something interesting. We'll see. It might just be like Fiendsmith, Ryziel. It looks like they're just dumping Paradise, which is already really weird because it's like, why would you dump that when you can go for something like a Requiem, right? So not exactly what I would call the best start. I'm not even going to play into Talent yet because I don't have to, so I'm just going to go ahead and call by the Requiem. So here we'll see what they do with this. Maybe they have like a bell or something, right? We never know. They just said that's fine. Go ahead and get rid of Requiem. They're going to go into the thinking phase, which is definitely something that's very common whenever you get put into like really rough situations. Again, I have so many interruptions on my opponent right now, including the call by that I just used, which is really good because it just takes Requiem out of the game for 2 turns. And if they're not playing 2, then it's even worse for them, which is really cool, at least for me, right? They do have the Desiree on me, though, which is really unfortunate. But if they do go to use Paradise, I could always just use, like, Magnemite and then go ahead and get rid of their Lacrima, which means that their Desiree has nothing to return. So just another really optimal situation there. Really awkward that they didn't just send, like, a Engraver, right? But they will just concede here. There's a lot of advantage. Again, 50 cards. We're assuming it's, like, a Fiendsmith, maybe Ryziel. It could just be like a Fiendsmith pile, right? Like Kashtira. We've seen a lot of things like that too. And going second here, my side is very slated for going first or second, just because I want to make sure that I have like really easy siding patterns. So 2 Ogre, 2 back row blowout, and then 2 of the talent. I'd usually side into 3 talent when I'm going first as well to play around Chaos Hunter, which is really good. Going second, I take out Dotscaper, just really not useful. Something that you do not want to see going second. I do take out all of these as well, because of the fact that if we get Lancia, they're already dead cards. I don't keep them in game 3 either because, again, they're already dead cards if I get Lancia. So I want to see more interruption if I do get Lancia to make sure that I can survive the turn. I don't want to side in the crossouts here because going second, you don't want to just, like, brick on cards that don't do anything either. I will take out, like, the Terraforming because, again, it's just another card that just doesn't do anything under the Lancia. If I have a field spell, it doesn't really change anything. And then you could get rid of like a Bestial. It really depends on like what you're really worried about. Honestly, I'm going to take out another field spell just because I don't feel like you need them all, especially going second. You get the 6th card. You're going to be playing through a lot probably. You want to make sure that you have enough interruption. Looking to reset the deck. I do this IRL as well. I'll just go ahead and put my side cards back in my main deck and then put my main deck sided cards back to my side deck and then re-side after that because I want to make sure that I'm always unsiding completely, going back into the side that I want. And that's something where I see people mess up their side all the time. It's crazy. My usual sideboard is going to be this. I'm probably not going to put in the talents here. I'm not really too worried about like a Chaos Hunter in this matchup, especially like lab cards, 50 cards, like draw it, right? Like that is what it is. I am going to take out the Nibirus though. I just don't really feel like they're going to be that impactful. Like if they have the Fiendsmith cards, sure. I am going to take out these cards as well. And the Terraforming, again, it's just one of those things where if I get Lancia, I don't want to dead draw on Allure. It's really good game 1 because there's no Lancia and you can just kind of go crazy, right? But like right now, it's not really going to do anything helpful for you. So we're going to go first here, and we're going to make a gigantic board that my opponent can't break. Yu-Gi-Oh! In 2025, right? But we already have to know that there could be a Lancia in our opponent's hand. They are playing 50 cards, but they could just be goated, right? So they could just draw Chaos Hunter Lancia, Call by the Grave, full combo, right? We don't know. So we opened the Lancia, which is my biggest quarrel of doing the sideboard of a cross-out target. But looks like we have a pretty solid hand here. Otherwise, use the effect of Chessie. That's going to go through. Go ahead and draw 2 here. No Lancia here either, which is pretty great. So now, it's really funny too, they're playing a trap deck, so if they have evenly, we can just be like, nah, you know, like, that's really good. So we do have the Dormouse effect here. Go ahead and banish the White Rabbit. White Rabbit effect here. Go ahead and bring this back. And then we will use the effect on summon, use White Rabbit. This could be where we see like a Chaos Hunter come down. We will have to see. They are thinking here. It's not like Nibiru. It would have to be like Chaos Hunter specifically. So we'll see. But I don't even think that's going to be like the biggest problem right now, honestly. Like, I have Cerberus lined up already. Like, this would be fine. So we will have to wait and see what they have. But again, it is 50 cards, so I'm not too terribly concerned. We also haven't banished Chessie this time, which is really cool, so we still have that as an option. We will summon Link Decoder. No thinking yet, so I'm assuming that they were just trying to bluff Chaos Hunter, which is fine. It could also be like Coup Clock or something, but we haven't seen furniture yet, so I'm not really too concerned about that either. So now we'll go Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. They said that's fine immediately, so like we're probably chilling to just combo off. The only other thing I'm a little worried about right now is getting hit with like a Duster or a Lightning Storm. Those are pretty common right now. So that's something that could be a later on problem. So here, I'm actually considering just using TB11 to get rid of the Red Ransom, throw a bunch of bodies on board, and see if we get hit with Rock. Usually not the safest play here, because we don't really need to do that. So I'm going to just go ahead and go into a different line here. I'm going to go into Haggard. And then we'll see if he has anything on summon. It could just be a Nib here, which would be not good, right? Like, we see that a lot too, where players just use things preemptively for no reason. Unless they have, like, Nibiru plus Bell or something for the Underground, right? That'd be pretty ideal, but I don't really know what they're trying to bluff here because it's not really a good bluff. So I'll go ahead and use the Chessie effect now. We do have Dotscaper in the deck as well, so like even if this doesn't work out, we still have Splash Mage. So they did have furniture. Okay, so this is the first time that we've seen furniture, but we did not know if they had it or not. So it was furniture. It is going to be Stovey Torby. That's fine. That doesn't really matter here. Our opponent does have the Blackout Laughs now in rotation, so they could call White Binder, which again, I don't really think matters that much. It just affects the names on the field. So it just means that we won't get to like GWC, which can be kind of awkward. But this is fine. I am not too concerned about this. Next action is just summon Whitebinder, right? So I'm not really worried yet. But they did set Welcome Labyrinth. We do have Ash and Double Strike, so I'm not necessarily concerned right now. I'm also really surprised that Blackout Laughs is like the option right now, and we're not preemptively calling Whitebinder. That means that they could have like another card for me here that could be like problematic, but I'm just gonna go ahead here and choose all the obvious targets, and we'll see. Because if you chain this, it just says you can't activate the effects, but it's already activated. So there wasn't really a point to dumping this right away if you weren't just going to use it right away. I don't really know if they were thinking about that, but that's a huge issue on their part now. Alright, so our opponent's calling Red Ransom, which, like, sure, that really doesn't matter. We're just gonna go ahead here and activate the Red Ransom now to come back. It's the graveyard effect, so it's just the effects on field can't be activated, and they're already activated. So it doesn't really make sense on the field. Damn, yeah. 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 Sometimes people don't necessarily realize what's going on when they do that, which he already preemptively should have just used it on Whitebinder, right? So, like, that is what it is, but even at this rate, like, it's already a yikes. It's already a yikes. They're just saying yeah to everything now, which is understandable. Just in a really bad spot. I'm kind of still worried and concerned about getting hit with Duster here, so I'm going to make sure that that's not going to be an issue. So we're going to go ahead here and summon out the Dormouse and bring back our White Binder now. Go ahead and draw a card, draw into a Chessie, that's fine. Thinking here, we do have GWC, which is really cool. One of the things that we can consider here is going into like a Hearts Cryptor, which is also really strong. We have Ash. I don't really know what I necessarily want here because there's so many options too. I could also just go into like access code and pop it for no reason too, just like get it out of here. I don't really want to give my opponent any type of advantage ever. So even here, I think this is just going to be the move. Is go ahead and just get rid of this because I don't want it in rotation. We also haven't Splash Mage yet. I did make a Splash Mage the other day with an IP and a link decoder, so that was pretty cool. So here we are going to get rid of all of these now. Go into our Teraherb, and then go ahead and use Teraherb effect and dump the Save Worm. Now, I really hope, just for the video, they have evenly matched. I really hope, bro. I will attempt end phase if there is no Nibiru. We will see. Okay. Go ahead, pass it over. We have Ash. We got rid of the welcome, though, so like we don't really have to worry about that, which is pretty cool. That is fine. That is cool. We will get rid of that, which is good. Alright, so draw phase is fine. I was going to interact with the lady right away, but there's not really a reason to jump just yet because there's not really anything threatening us. So you could get rid of it immediately just in case they do set a card, but we also have MTP to go ahead and just banish it. We don't have to worry about it not being able to be destroyed or anything. We have Ash, double strike, MTP, and GWC with a spell trap negate, so like we're doing pretty well right now. And there's not going to be an L-Storm either here. They do have Tract. They go activate Tract, I chain GWC. They go Lurie 1, I go my White Binder 2. Yeah, I'll go ahead and activate GWC here in response. So they're going to go ahead and use the Lady Labyrinth here. I'm going to chain Solemn Strike, and that should be the game. That should just be like scoop phase. We should see GG here. We'll see. Yeah, GG's. Alright, so that's going to be the match. Again, sometimes when you get in those situations and you're just like not reading cards or you're unfamiliar with cards or how they interact, that's another thing where like if you put a card like Blackout into your deck list, read the card, understand the card, because calling Whitebinder there, realistically, I don't think it would have changed much, but it would have been very good because I wouldn't have had GWC, right? So there is going to be other situations where that would have been really effective. But that is another thing where in my own deck building too, I'm playing cards like Teraherb and Save Worm because I'm more worried about cards like L-Storm and Duster right now, and Talent's obviously still an issue, and I still believe in Dotscaper as well. But I do hope that you enjoyed today's video. Again, this was a relatively unedited, I'll edit a couple things out, but this was just straight gameplay, my own thoughts during a match, and how I kind of move through gameplay in different steps in my thought process. So if you want more videos like this, let me know, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Thank you.